With him for our first flying lap of this 18-minute qualifying session. As luckily for our drivers, it's looking like it's going to be a clear qualifying. So no threat of rain seems imminent. So a nice dry track for these guys to set some flyers on. See Jaylee Bowens getting that car up to however fast it can actually go and crossing the line to start his first lap of the day. And looks like Jaylee just backed out of it going through one, so we'll go right here on board with LDR Redeemer, who looks like he's coming through sector 2 right now. Also see what tires these guys have on. See what strategies we're looking to go to tonight. LDR is coming through, I believe, what is turn 13 here, Brazil. We'll see what time he can set. It is a 1:10.1 on the medium compound tires for our first lap set today. PPR Batman with a 1:09.6. Currently sitting in P1. We should stop the qualifying session right now and let him take it, because more than likely he will not finish this race anyways. As we have the Haas of Funky Cactus coming up the line with a 1:10.0. Alabama Outlaw looks to have ran very wide. Deluxe Core with a 1:08.6. So he is now sitting in pole position. He is our championship leader currently. If he beats Jaylee here today in outright points, he will be our Division 3 champion. As Renault have already, looks like Jules backing out there. As Renault have already locked out the Constructor Championship. We're on board here with Alabama Outlaw, who looks to have PPR Batman on his cooldown lap right in front of him. Doesn't look like he can get really in his way. Let's see what the Williams of the gunslinger from down south can put in for his first lap of the day. And that is not a very quick time, and it was invalidated, so that is why. We're sticking on board here with the henchman 21 and the Toro Rosso. Very nice to see him be able to make it tonight, as he was unable to make our previous race at the United States Grand Prix last week. But very nice to see him out there today. Currently running on the mediums. Coming here into sector, finishing off sector 2, I should say. Very nice and clean on this lap. See what he can cross the line at. It is going to be a 1:09.8. And that will put him currently in P5 in this qualifying session. We have a lot of cars going slow. Go on board with George here. See what type of time he can put in. He is on those softs. Currently have a yellow in sector 3. That is just X-Webster slowing down, and that is P2 for George, almost breaking the 108, which currently only Deluxe Court has been able to do. Orange Crush looks like he's out on his lap right now. Teammate of the henchman. Looking to be out here to crush some lap times. He comes into turn 4. Going really high on those revs. That's very interesting driving style to take here. Now coming through turns 8 and 9. And then into 10 and 11. And exiting turn 13. Also, driver's doing a very good job of staying out of Orange Crush's flying lap here. He's going to cross the line with a 1:10.5. That's going to only set him in P3 as X-Webster is going very slow right there. George is in the pits, Funky Cactus as well. See, we have Vexing Track, who looks to be on a cooldown. Ooh, and there is the henchman off on the track. Luckily there's no one in his way, but oh, and now he's got damage and he is breaking the 4th wall. That's very sad to see there from the henchman. Let's see how far he's going to drop from that 9th place. The only time that he was able to set of the day. I believe we currently do not have anyone out on a flying lap. They all look to be on their cooldowns, but it does look like LDR Redeemer, who's currently sitting in 11th, about to start his 2nd lap of the afternoon. He comes in here to turn 1, just braking slightly after that 50-meter board. You gotta be very careful how close you hug those curves. You can easily invalidate here at Brazil. Now coming through turn 4, nice and clean there. Very well done by LDR. And this right-hander here is very tricky depending on what you decide to go with setup-wise. You can get a lot of oversteer and lose the back end very easily if you push too much. Currently looking like a very solid lap here from LDR. Oh, but he backs off the throttle. That's going to cost him a few tenths right there. Now coming around turn 13 and on the finish straight. See if he can improve on his current set lap time. And it looks like he will with a 109.3, 8/10 up. This can currently put him P3. Some of our drivers put in some very close laps right here. We have Vexing Track is currently a 10.5 up on his time. Crossing line with a 109.5, putting him in P6, and that's on the medium tires as well. So that is a flyer from Vexing Track. Very well done. It looks like I just missed George the Fraud there, putting in a 109.3. As so we have PPR Batman as well on his lap. Jay Lee doing the best he could to get out of his way right there. Batman is currently 1/10 up through his sector 2. And Batman will cross the line with a 109.5. That's going to put him P7. Stat board here with Jay Lee Bowens. Looks to be on a flyer as well on those softs. So only 2 of our drivers right now in the top 10 opt to go on the mediums. That'll be Vexing Track and, well, it says SF, but SF currently in the pits. So currently only 3 drivers not to start a lap. That would be PV9, Magic, Saxman, and Dark Ghost. However, Saxman is starting from the back of the grid tonight in that Renault. So Jaylee's going to do his best right here to get as close to deluxe scored as he can or take pole position. This championship battle is coming towards the end and he is on the back foot. So the better he can do in qualifying, the better position he'll put himself in the race to keep this battle for the championship going until Abu Dhabi next week. And that is going to be P3 with a 109.2. Oh, as he loses a little bit of the back end right there. It looks like we have Big Mr. Brown is on a cooldown. Ollie's looking to be going on a lap right here. I don't know if he's going to have enough ERS. He's currently sitting around 17, 15%. We'll see if he'll have enough here. But for Jay Lee Bowens, 2. Oh, and there is a Williams. PPR Ollie's doing his best. Robert Kubica. Big Mr. Brown decides to set a lap, or he's going to go on the pits. We'll be going on a lap right here. Looks like Funky Cactus is just a little bit ahead of him. Already 5/10 up, half a second up just through the first 3 turns. That is looking very well. However, it just told me he was 2/10 down right there. So timing screens may be lying to me just a little bit. But nonetheless, we'll see what Funky Cactus can do right here in that Haas powered Ferrari, or Ferrari powered Haas. I'm getting it all wrong as he goes very wide. We see his teammate of X Webster 3 pass him up on track. And then getting out the way of Big Mr. Brown, who's also on his flyer there in that beautiful looking McLaren. Comes through the final few corners here. We'll see what Big Mr. Brown can do right here on the softs. He's just ran out of ERS, so that's going to hurt him. But it is a 109.2. That's good enough for P4. So we're currently sitting with just 4.5 minutes left here in qualifying. Outlaws out on a out lap. Looks like Funky Cactus might be going for it again here. So Deluxe Squad is sitting very well right here now in qualifying. All he has to do is beat Jay Lee Bowens by points today, and the championship will be locked up in his favor. That is also saying, if my math is correct, and that's not saying much. But Funky really letting off the throttle right there. I mean, that's going to cost him. I'm going to stay as flat out as possible right there. Going through turn 11. Now 13 and 14. And he is diving into the pits, decides not to set a lap. Looks like we'll stay on board here with the gunslinger from down south, Alabama Outlaw, and the Williams. Unfortunately, just a few minutes ago, we did see his teammate of PPR Arley's doing his best Robert Kubica impression, throwing it on the wall during qualifying session. So maybe Outlaw can do his best George Russell impression here and actually set a decent qualifying lap time. And that will not be the case. He's hopping into the pits. He's only just put on some fresher tires. If he stayed out, he wouldn't have another chance to set another lap here in qualifying. And then SF getting very, very oversteered right there through turn 4. That's going to hurt his lap. Hopefully he didn't pick up any wing damage. Looks like George might be out on another lap. He's going very slow right now, that McLaren. Jay Lee as well. Got the rest of our guys slowly making their way out the pits. LDR getting out the way of George. We have anyone that's actually out on the lap right now. SF looks to be saving up his ERS. Oh, and George is in the pits. That might just cost him right here on this lap. It looks like LDR is going to be our first guy to set his final lap here, so we'll stand forward with the Alfa Romeo. It does very, very well right there not to invalidate his lap, coming through the first 3 corners. Engage DRS heading through into turn 4. Oh, and it looks like he has backed out of his lap. See who we got closest right here. Looks like it will be Jay Lee Bowens. Oh, he went very wide there as George does retire from the session. See if we'll be able to pick P2, and Jay Lee did invalidate that lap. Big Mr. Brown just now starting his lap. George the Fraud in the Ferrari halfway into sector 2. We have a yellow in sector 2 and 3, presumably just a car slowing down. It does like it's going to be that Williams up there. So George the Fraud currently sitting P6. See if he can improve his grid slot here at the end of qualifying. Let's see across the line with a 109.2. That will put him into P5, just a little bit ahead of LDR Redeemer. Looks like we have Funky Cactus, might be the leader of this group right here. As he's actually 10th and a half down his time. So we'll see if we'll be able to improve at all. He just needs a little over a 10th to pass up Alabama Outlaw for P7. Hanging very close to the line right there. It's going to be a 109.4. Not good enough as PPR Batman is off the track. Looks like we have LDR and Alabama Outlaw. Outlaw is half a second up on his time. He's going to get some nice slipstream there by Redeemer. See what these guys can put in right here. Oh, as Alabama Outlaw will go pole with a 108.5, just passing up Deluxe Court. That slipstream right there from LDR Redeemer definitely helped him. As then PPR Ollies is going P4, Jordan's Fraud into the pits. And it looks like that will be all of our drivers here in qualifying. Very hectic qualifying session right there. As Saxman looks to be putting in the time, and it was invalidated since he does have to start at the back of the grid. Just looking to get in a quick little lap there before the end of the session. So it will be Alabama Outlaw, the gunslinger from down south in that Williams, starting at P1, followed by Deluxe Gordon P2, and then George 1997. Unfortunately, just not enough time to set another lap after coming to the pits with about 2 minutes left, but he will be P3, followed by PPR Ollies in P4, and J. Lee Bowens, the runner-up right now in our championship standings, in P5. And while we wait for everything to load up here, I just want to say thank you to everyone that is watching via our live stream here on YouTube. It's a pleasure to have you guys here. Hope you guys enjoy this racing, and our drivers can put on some fantastic racing for you guys. Also, be sure to like and subscribe to our channel, as well as follow us on Twitter at PPR_esports. That is PPR_esports. We got some fire tweets, as I have just got in from my inside sources on track that it is going to be raining the second half of the race, which is exciting for our drivers and for you guys to watch. But as a commentator who has to go to work after this, that might be cutting my time very close. But nonetheless, hopefully we can get some great racing going on tonight, as yeah, we can see the clouds looming over here in Brazil. We'll see how long the track will stay dry for this race and when the rain will decide to touch ground here in Brazil, as we just wait for all of our drivers to load up and get this lobby started. I'll go ahead and take myself a quick little water break. As our drivers look to be starting the formation lap here. Go ahead and see what tires everyone has on. I believe everyone within the top 10, yeah, they're all starting on softs, from Alabama Outlaw all the way down to PPR Batman. Vexing track in a very good position right there in P11 on the mediums. So depending on where the rain comes in, he might be sitting very well on that strategy. If people on the softs, their tires start to wear out and they have to pit before the rain falls down the second half of the race, which is a very long one, 36 laps. So like I said, Deluxe Cord just has to beat out J. Lee Bones by 8 points today in the championship, and he will round off what has been an incredible season by him. And he will be our D3 championship in that Renault. As for some reason, drivers in that banana boat end up winning championships. I don't know what it is. As our D1 driver of Capita Hood, which I'd like to just give a shout out, happy birthday to you, Cap, if you're watching. Everyone here from PPR wishes you a happy birthday. But Cap as well in a Renault, and he's also our championship leader in Division 1, so it's just something about that car that these drivers tend to like. I have no idea what it is other than that beautiful yellow and black color scheme they have. And now our drivers are rounding up this grid. It's going to be very hectic going into turn 1. Hopefully all these guys can keep it clean and we don't see too much carnage on this first lap. It looks like we just got our final driver of Dark Ghost rounding off the grid right here. We'll see who has the best camera angle. It's actually not that good. I cannot even see the lights. There we go. We'll just stick it on board here with PPR Arlies as our lights are out, drivers are off, and out. And it looks like we just had a big Cody's mistake right there. As Doors 1997 was disqualified from the session. I'll go ahead and pause this real quick for you guys. As Dark Ghost has retired, we can go ahead and get this lobby restarted, hopefully, after presumably a terrible mistake here by Cody's. I don't know what that start was. That is just something you don't want to see here, as all of our drivers keeping it pretty close. I couldn't tell if that, it looked like it was Cody's fault right there. I mean, none of our drivers went off the line. There might have been a lot of desync going on right there, as SF is right on the back of big Mr. Brown. With both those guys coming into the pits. We'll take a brief stop from the action. As we're going to go ahead and work on a restart for these drivers. So I do apologize, guys, here. So we're actually going to go ahead and get a new lobby set up for these guys. So do bear with us for one moment. Alright, and welcome back. Thanks so much, guys, for being patient as we deal with Cody's not want to work with us there. At the start of lap 1, had a few drivers not getting to go at the lights, drivers getting time through penalties, and big carnage, but we are back. Unfortunately, we did have one driver drop from the session that will not be able to compete in any longer tonight in the race, and that is Dark Ghost. But other than that, we have all other 19 drivers here as we will once again begin our formation lap and get this race started. Same weather as we were already predicting, so it will be raining in this race, so we'll see how our drivers deal with that. So we'll make sure all our drivers, yes they did, all on the softs in the top 10 as they should. That way they do not end up getting DQ'd from this session, because you do have to start on the tires that you set in qualifying. As Alabama is very far out there right now on the formation lap. I mean, he's 3 seconds ahead of Deluxe Cord. He's trying to get this thing going. This field is very spread out on the formation lap. So hopefully these tires don't get too cold sitting there on the grid. Or it will probably be at least 30 seconds. But once again, thank you guys for being patient. We were dealing with some of those technical difficulties from Cody's. But almost underway here at Brazil. As said before, Deluxe Cord is our championship leader. As long as he beats Jaylee Bowens by at least 8 points tonight, he will round out the championship and be our Division III Drivers Championship, as Renault's already locked out the Constructors Championship points. So it's been a great season by them, and it'll be even better if they can round out the Drivers Championship here tonight, as we got the lonely Haas of X Webster coming very slowly to his grid slot. And here we go. Hopefully the lights don't fail us here today. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and they are out. And it looks like we're not going to have any glitches happening now, as all of our grids rounding about into turn 1. Keeping it very clean so far down the grid. Very well done there by our drivers, as Alabama Outlaw leads the race, followed by Deluxe Cord right there behind him, right on his gearbox coming to 4. PPR Ollie's going down the inside of Jaylee Bowens, making that move stick. We have Orange Crush falling way down in the grid. Oh, and it does look like it went off. Got some great battles going right here. Funky Cactus right on the back of Big Mr. Brown. Oh, and PPR Batman causing a huge collision right there. Couldn't tell what went wrong, but that's going to be 4 drivers off. That is very unfortunate by those guys. PPR Batman has left this session. That's going to be something the stewards are going to have to look at there. But ending lap 1, Alabama Outlaw will be in the lead, followed by Deluxe Cord, George, and PPR Ollie's right on the top 4. Jaylee Bowens sitting very close in 5th. As SF is looking to get a run right here on Jordan Fraud. See if he can make this move into turn 1. Backs out of it, just not enough space right there. We looks to be PV Magic moving around Orange Crush. And X-Whips are already making his way up the field as well. And that Haas going down the inside of PPR Grandpa through turn 4. Very well done by him. And Deluxe Core just sitting right behind Alabama Outlaw right there, the gunslinger from down south. And now coming around turn 11 in sector 3. The DRS will be engaged this upcoming lap. But he may just be too far back to make a move right here on lap 3. He does set the current fastest lap of the day. Jaylee Bowen sitting right there on the back of PPR Ollies. Not much doing there for him. George the Fraud right here behind Funky Cactus. Same as well. Oh, but that Merc is SF1776 just flying in there. And he gets a beautiful run right here on George the Fraud. He is going to have DRS. And he's on the inside here going into turn 4. Should be able to make this move stick. He'll have the inside line. And does a very good job there. However, George gets him right back on the inside. They'll be racing up into turns 5, 6, and 7. Looks like George will be able to keep that spot as of the moment. Teammate EV9 Magic also right here behind the train, looking at the gearbox of Henchman 21 and the Toro Rosso. He is all up on that gearbox, making a little bit of contact right there. Henchman does very well not to go off. We'll go back up top to Deluxe Sport. You're now sitting right behind Alabama Outlaw. Will he go for a move? He will not. Thinks better of it. And then Jaylee Bowens right here on the inside of PPR Ollies. Not much doing there for Ollies. And Jaylee right on the outside. It looks like that Racing Point's just got a little bit more traction right there. See who gets the benefit of DRS. Now it is going to be Jaylee. He holds that inside line. Ollie's coming around the outside, but getting very wide. Can't make a stick. Jaylee's will keep 4th place as SF. Oh, and the Haas of Funky Cactus luckily ghosting through George the Fraud. That could have been a massive collision between those guys. We got the train falling behind all the way from 9th to 15th. Right back up to the Lux Court here, who is just falling right on the back of Alabama Outlaw. We'll have DRS coming down the straight. See if he'll be able to do anything here through turn 1 on lap 5. Oh, but nothing doing there for him. George the Fraud sitting right behind SF1776. Oh, as it looks like rain's beginning to fall as well. That's throwing a big mix here in the races. The rain's coming very early on lap 5. Not much doing here for our guys. We'll take it down to Orange Crush, who looks to be right on the back of Vexing Track. Oh, as then the Henchman goes off. Getting very wide right there. Couldn't quite tell who he got hit by, but that's going to be very hurtful, damaging to his race so far. Back to track, picking up a 3-second time penalty. As this rain is looking to be throwing quite the mix here in the race. As the Ferraris looking to make their way up the grid. Funky Cactus having a little bit of lag. Hopefully that goes away and doesn't affect these drivers too much. Not much doing here for these guys. It looks like Deluxe still can't do too much. George the Fraud following right behind them. PPR Ollies and Jaylee Bowens going with it again. Jaylee Bowens will stick into 4th place. Ollies though benefit of DRS, but Jaylee Bowens closes off that inside line very quickly. Ollies having to back out of it. These guys battling very hard right here. And that's forcing Jaylee Bowens very wide. Ollies will pick up P4. There's no love shown at all between these two drivers. They're definitely getting the elbows out right here. go on board here with George Fraud, and the Ferrari's right in the back of that Mercedes of SF 1776. It looks like we are joined by LDR Redeemer. Or not, as it looks like. Oh, Funky Cactus and Saxman 24. Having quite the little battle right here. Saxman's going to stick it on the inside of Funky Cactus. Can he make it stick? Nothing doing there for him. It looks like Alabama Outlaws getting overtook by Deluxe Cord. We just missed that, as Deluxe looks to have just a little bit more traction here in the rain. It is still pretty light, not coming down quite as hard yet for intermediate tires, but definitely coming down harder. If that makes any sense at all. We'll see if Alabama Alloy looks to be struggling a lot with some oversteer right here. He is now staring down the gearbox of that Renault of Deluxe Cord. With the benefit of DRS, he's going around the outside here into turn one. Make a little bit of contact, not much doing there. As Alabama Outlaw now sits in P1. Oh, but there's some contact right there between the two of those drivers. As George 1997 has left the session. Oh, as Alabama Outlaw has gone off the track and he is now out of the session, promoting Deluxe Cord into P1. And now Ollie's his teammate into P3. That may bring out a safety car. Alabama's sitting right off the side of the track. Knowing Cody's, they might not bring it out, as it doesn't look like it is going to get out here. There's lots of our drivers going out on the intermediate tires. As unfortunate foul, yeah, he's now left the session. As Ollie's sitting behind the ghost of George's 1997. See if we can get George back in here as quick as possible. We'll see if George the Fraud is going to stay out another lap or not. See if these drivers decide to dive into the pits for intermediates. They're going to stay out. Look, I guess too much doing there right there on SF. Orange Crush will pick up the position on Funky Cactus, who's now diving into the pits. Currently 5 drivers already on those intermediate tires. See if they can get these gaps are really starting to pull themselves out now. Ollie's is 7.5 seconds behind Deluxe Cord. X-Webster 3, again a 5-second time penalty speeding in pit lane. I don't know really what's going on with him. He just came into the pits. It looks like Saxman and SF are having a little bit of a battle. Saxman on a little Lewis Hamilton without hitting anything.
Cactus is back out on the hards.
Oh, as we do have it. There's LDR. I was wondering where you went.
I just didn't include my audio, sorry for that. Yeah, Cactus is on the hards as well as Henchman is. Everyone else that I've seen so far is on the intermediate tires. Except for the front runners who have not pitted yet.
Yeah, and
the orange is moving past SF right now. Easy overtake, it looks. Crush goes into the pits.
Yeah, it looks like all these guys in the top 10 are now coming into the pits in front of the intermediates. The rain was getting very hard right there, but Saxman staying out. 9 laps in on those softs, but I mean, he's definitely have to come in this lap. This rain's getting too heavy.
Deluxe comes out just ahead of him, so
Yeah, you can really see the difference right there between the
Yeah,
softs and
you
the
can
inners
see
right
the
now.
difference already. Jules retires.
Yep, I figured that was gonna happen once the rain started coming down.
I
As
got.
unfortunately for
We went to.
George,
We went to start the lobby and I got kicked.
yeah, it was very unfortunate. As it looks like a lot of these gaps now are really increasing. I mean, George is getting overtaken everywhere on track, but unfortunately
He's
for
also
him, he's been
disconnected.
ghosted.
Yeah. Always easily moves past SF.
As we have a virtual safety car. That might help out Saxman right here. Saxman, safety, this VSC stays out.
That's weird. Cactus is out in the same spot where Alabama was.
Yeah, when Alabama DNF, I thought for sure that would be a safety car, but seeing how Cody's has been really all season long, all year long, I mean, safety cars are very sporadic.
They are.
It looks like the VSC is now ending.
The one that I remember was France.
Looks like we have vexing track here on Orange Crush. Not much doing there through turn one. These guys are really struggling right now, getting used to these wet conditions. As I presume probably have dry setups on.
I'm assuming a majority of them do, but I couldn't tell you. I'm still surprised Henchman is out on the hards dealing with this.
Well, on my screen, it's actually showing that Henchman is on the intermediates.
My screen too, but tire on the car says hard. So I'm gonna go with what the data says.
As Funky Cactus has now left the session, he wasn't having too great of a day. His vexing track now is right on the back of Orange Crush.
Jord the Fraud is also in this battle.
Yeah, George's sitting right behind them. Now with the rain, I mean, none of these guys are going to have the benefit of DRS. It's be all about traction.
Doing his drive-through at the moment.
Yeah, that's really going to hurt Jay Lee. I mean, with Deluxe just needing to beat him out by 8 points to win the championship, I mean, Jay Lee's going to be set really far back. This Vexing's getting a great run right here on Orange Crush. They come down the straight into turn 4.
Make the move, he's not.
Oh, but Orange goes very wide. And that's going to be
help
done
George.
right there for Vexing track. Yeah, George also right behind him. Oh, and they make contact. Orange Crush is already frustrated, and that's just going to hurt him even more. I would not want to be in his household tonight after this race. So it looks like, yeah, George 1997 is back in the session. That's good for him. I mean, he was sitting P3, he's falling all the way down to P7. Let's see if he can make some moves up the field. And then PPR Grandpa now right on the back of Orange Crush. Be interested to see if Orange Crush pits. Doesn't look like he picked up any damage right there.
I didn't see him get any damage. George is back in the session finally, so he has his control. As he goes very wide into turn 1.
Oh yeah, he's going really wide right there. Yeah, these guys are really struggling for grip out there. But Grandpa looks to maybe be making a move right here on Orange Crush. Nah, he thought better of it. So as some of these gaps start to spread out just a little bit, what do you think the tire shred here is now with the rain coming down? Is it going to get heavier during the race since you were in the session before you got kicked, or do you think they'll be able to stay on the intermediates?
From what I saw before I got kicked, it was going to be cloudy, and then it was going to be a light rain, and then the rain was going to get heavier. So these guys, if they're feeling brave, they might be able to stick out on the intermediates, depending on how heavy this rain gets. And then it's going to go back to light rain, so depending, like I said, depending on how heavy this rain hits, they might have to come in for the wets.
Yeah, my thing too is I don't know how long they can take these intermediate tires. I once saw Cap try to take near a full race distance at Austria on intermediates before getting a puncture. I believe like 3 laps to go. So it'll be very interesting to see if these guys decide to pit if they can stay out on the inners. There's Grandpa's a little bit back there on orange.
Now, interesting too, Webster is now a ghost on my screen. I don't know if he disconnected or if he ended up quitting the lobby.
I'm not too sure. He was having a tough time. He came in the pits and picked up a 5-second time penalty, and then 2 laps later came right back in the pits, picked up another 5-second time penalty. So he was not having the best of days out there.
I have a great battle here on the front straight for 7th. He got crushed within a second, and PPR Grandpa right behind him.
Yeah, this looks to be our closest battle so far. We also have George the Fraud as well.
Vexing, but he's too far back to make a move.
Yeah, look, he's gonna be getting anything done there through turn 1.
These guys are running close, but this is one of those circuits when it's raining, it's hard to pass or get a move done. You gotta push your enemy and make him make the mistake, and then that's when you pounce and know from experiences.
Yeah, George keeping about a 7/10 gap right now, vexing track. And Deluxe looks like he might check out of this race. All is stayed about 6.5 to 7 seconds behind him. Doesn't look like he's making too much of a wedge into that gap right there.
The front 3, I'm going to throw this out there. I don't know if it's going to be true. The front 3, I think, are going to stay where they are unless the weather changes.
Yeah, and Saxman got a great benefit there. The VSC. I mean, he was coming to the pits right when that VSC came out. So, I mean, from starting all the way from the back of the grid, he's already sitting on the podium, not even halfway into this race. Or, I mean, almost halfway into this race.
Jordy's now within 4/10 of a second on Vexing.
Doesn't look like he's going to have enough to really make a move right here. He's picking a little bit here and there.
Rush is sticking right with George, and Grandpa's dropped off. I don't know if he's saving ERS or if he got damaged somewhere, but he just dropped off 2 seconds to Crush.
Yeah, Grandpa was sticking with him for about 2 laps there, but I mean, he looks like he's really struggling for grip right there. As George is now just within a few tenths now of Vexing. I mean, he's looking very close right there to be making a move.
Yep, Magic closing in on SF 1776.
But yeah, I mean, unfortunately with the rain here, these guys are looking to play it really safe and just kind of survive the rest of the race.
Yep.
I know I had a race in F1 2018 where it rained the entire race, and that's kind of how it went. It was like a drive to survive. That's kind of how it is here in Brazil. You're just trying not to be the guy that brings out a safety car.
Always has dropped back tremendously from Deluxe Squad.
Yeah, and Saxman was just 10 seconds behind him 2 laps ago. He's already put in 4 seconds into that 10-second gap, so he's catching very quick on Ollie. We might have a Renault 1-2.
George going for the
as George is, yep, right on the outside there.
That's a nice overtake in the wet.
Yeah, George is looking a little bit more confident there than Vexing track right now in the
Julie's
rain.
gonna gain on this battle here in a couple of laps. These guys in front of him scrapping. The pressure's starting to drop back a little bit. I think he's trying to save up some battery so he can attack.
It looks like we have another Ferrari on Mercedes as well with Magic and SF. Magic just a little bit too far back right now. So halfway into this race, and it's currently sitting to Luxcord, P1, P2, PPR Ollies, and Saxman at 24 in third.
Saxman is gaining on Ollies. Now down to 5 seconds in closing.
Tremendously. And he's a man on a mission right now.
Ollies is out.
Ollie's the same spot as his teammate too. Outlaw also going off on that side of the track as another VSC. See what these guys do. Oh man, I'm heartbroken for Ollie's. He was looking to have a podium finish. It looks like that will be no longer. But very interesting that Cody's doesn't bring out a safety car for that. I mean, I think in any normal race.
Yeah, for one driver to go out in the same spot and then 2 others to go out in the same area, and then they bring out a VSC. I don't. Jay Lee again. Beating under VSC.
I think that might be the championship done right there with that penalty. I don't see how Jay Lee comes back from that. And with the VSC ending, see if he decides to come in the pits or not. Yeah, we got Magic and SF right now, as well as Vexing Track and George the Fraud. George the Fraud has found himself in the P3. As he might be looking to get, I believe, his first podium here with PPR, if it can say like this.
Webster's now back in control of his vehicle.
And that was good to see there from Webster. We'll go back down to the other Ferrari.
He's going to be close, going to get him turn 4, maybe.
SF going defensive on that inside line.
Ooh, slight contact pushes him wide. They're going to continue.
And it looks for now, yeah, SF is going to stay in 10th. Keep that 1 point. These guys are going really hard right now for just 1 point. As Vexing on my time screen is now almost 2 seconds behind George the Fraud. He was almost sitting right on the back of him. Looks like Webster
making a move,
taking a look at Big Mr. Brown.
Oh, contact.
Ooh, good second. Great save right there by Webster.
It was almost a Verstappen, but in the wrong corner from 2017, I believe. Henchman now in the pits. 5-second time penalty. Magic going in turn 1 on SF.
Oh, these guys also make contact.
Luckily, there is no damage there, so done invested for Magic, moving up to P9.
Yeah, it looks like these guys might be battling out the entire race.
Vexing's dropping back just a little bit on George. We now have a Renault 1-2 with 13 laps remaining.
Yeah, which is not something new here in D3. We've seen Renault 1-2s multiple times this season. Yeah, it's like SF's just falling a little bit back right here from Magic.
Jaylee's closing on Grandpa. Webster's closing on Brown.
Yeah, I'll go back down here to Webster.
Grandpa in the pits.
That's a very interesting decision right there. If this rain does pick up, and these drivers need the wets, that might hurt Grandpa there. I mean, if I'm these guys, I'm trying to make these inners last as long as I can. It looks like Webster might have lost control of his car again. Oh, no. He's back in it.
No, he's ghosted.
Yeah, he was going in and out of ghosting.
Yeah. I think right now his AI has control of his vehicle.
So yeah, much of this field spread out here. So I mean, it's really gonna come down to weather and whether or not these drivers need to come into the pits again and who can stay out.
Orange has moved up 9 places from the start. Saxman up 16 places to P2.
We'll actually take a look at that. Yeah, Orange up 9, Magic up 9 as well.
Vexing is in the pits. Mode's Crush 1 more position, so he's up 10. He's hanging right in there, around 3 seconds with George, so see if he can't make a final push on that.
Yeah, I mean, and unfortunately for George, I mean, getting disconnected for about 5 to 6 laps before he rejoined, I mean, might have got a podium taken away from him.
It's tough when that happens to a driver like this, because you're doing so good and then your game just disconnects you and you don't know on how your AI is going to do, you don't know the gaps or anything or what's going to happen with the race. So when you come back, you're basically in the blind on what's going on.
Yeah, but I mean, so far doing very well on a little recovery drive after that. I mean, he's still sitting P4, 11 seconds back with 13 laps to go. I mean, it's going to be really hard to bridge into that gap, but
Saxman, though, lap by lap, he is closing down slowly on Deluxe on his teammate.
Yeah, but I don't know if it's going to be enough. I mean, he's still 12 seconds back. He's going to have to... Ooh, as it looks like Orange Crush took a peek at the pits. George is coming in. So that now promotes Orange Crush 11 spots up.
Jaylee is back into the pits. I think he's going to come out... I'm on board with Grandpa. He's coming out the final corner now.
It looks like Magic's going to overtake both of them. SF as well.
Jaylee has made the move on Grandpa's stick when Grandpa pitted first.
Looks like Jaylee's going to come right out behind Henchman. So that's sad to see for Jaylee that he's not going to be able to take this championship all the way out to Abu Dhabi. But I mean, he has a great season as well. Deluxe Court has just, Deluxe Court has just been on a flying form here the back half of the season, winning multiple races. It looks like George the Fraud also coming into the pits. So that might promote Orange Crush, see if he dives in as well.
Stay out.
So Orange Crush is going to be on the podium. And George just now coming out of his pit box.
10.5 now between Saxman and Deluxe Court.
And we have Jaylee right on the back of the Henchman, 21. This Henchman is lagging everywhere. That's a scary sight to see.
Got the position. Henchman could come back on him into turn 3.
Yeah, we'll see if he can do anything here. Jay Lee going very defensive into turn 4.
Yeah, nothing
Doesn't
doing
look like
there.
nothing
Webster
for the
now has
henchman.
control of his car.
Yeah, it's just not been a great day for Webster, unfortunately, in that Haas.
Vexing closing in on Jord the Fraud. Slowly.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see here. Jord the Fraud, he's now 8 seconds behind Orange Crush. I don't know how long these tires are going to last. Elvin, I'd say that Orange Crush is diving into the pits. So,
Deluxe still has a 5-second time penalty unserved.
oh, so Saxman.
Saxman does not have any penalties.
So, yeah, all Saxman has to do is really bridge us into 5 more seconds and be within that 5-second gap, and he might have the race win from starting at the back of the grid. Which we saw the same thing happen last week with Webster. He started at the back of the grid and won the race as well.
He's going through the field right now. Jord has a 3-second time penalty. Vexing has a 6-second time penalty. Magic with 3 seconds. That's a top 5. George is clean. Crush has 1 penalty. Bailey has his 2 drive-throughs and that is it. So that's impressive from him in the wet. Henchman has a 5-second and then a penalty. And PPR Grandpa has a penalty, and that is it for the top
10. And speaking of Orange Crush, he's looking to catch up just a little bit right here on George's 1997.
Webster's closed the gap again to Mr. Big Brown. Big Mr. Brown, sorry.
Nothing doing there for Orange Crush. Yeah, X-Webster battled for 12th place. No points on the line, more so for...
And for the move, might get him into the next corner here. Thinking about it, going defensive is Big Mr. Brown.
Yeah, I mean, Big Mr. Brown just barely leaving enough space. That's some excellent defending by him. We saw him do the same thing last week with PPR Delirious. It's like Orange Crush, nothing doing there for him. Back down to X-Webster. I don't know if Big Mr. Brown's going to be able to defend this one. Oh, that's a little...
no room.
You must always leave it a space, and he does not.
Webster with a 3-second time penalty. Yeah, it's going to hurt him.
Yeah.
No, look like
Big Mr.
Brown, he didn't leave any space going down the straight, and that forces Webster wide as he dives into turn 3 and gets past him.
Yeah, that's very dangerous too, because it makes any slight contact with that wall right there on the outside. Could have picked up wing damage.
Rush is now caught back up to George's 1997.
Yeah, the battle for 6th place currently. So we're just now 9 laps left in the race. It looks like the stream
7.5 seconds.
will live till the end. Yeah, I mean, all he has to do is bridge another 2.5 seconds, and with no time penalties, he will be in 1st place after penalties on the end of this race. Now 6th, 7th, and 8th just split 1.5 seconds each between those guys. So see what they can do here in the final stages of this race.
It'll be a good battle for P5 towards the end of this race.
It looks like Magic's starting to struggle a lot. He's got 19 laps in. Yeah, he's diving in the pits. I was about to say he was looking like those tires were starting to fall off. But what is interesting, so Deluxe and Saxman both have not pitted. Ooh, Magic in for wets.
This is interesting strategy call from Ferrari.
Oh, well, it is Ferrari, so...
And I'm having terrible camera angles with the Magic right now. Deluxe is into the pits.
See what Saxman does. Saxman looks like he's going to stay out. Let's see what tires that Deluxe ends up going with.
He's going back with
as
the
he serves his
intermediates.
5-second. Yeah, that's what it looks like.
Magic right out of the pits right behind SF, 2.5 seconds. Or 2
Yeah,
tenths,
but on
sorry.
those wets, I mean,
I don't think it's wet enough for those.
I don't think it is either. I mean, unless it's really going to start coming down these last 7 laps, I don't really see what the strategy is for that.
It's going to be interesting to see now with Deluxe being on fresh intermediates. What is Saxman going to do? Is he going to pit or is he going to stay out?
Yeah, well, I mean, if Saxman is going to pit, he definitely wants to do it this lap before Deluxe bridges any more into that gap.
Big Mr. Brown on his set of intermediate tires.
Looks like really not too much else doing through the rest of this field. We'll see what Saxman does here. If he decides to stay out or not. I mean, Deluxe already cut a second into that gap, so if Saxman wants to pit, he needs to do it right now, as it looks like he's going to stay out. So I'm willing to bet that Saxman takes these tires till the end. If he were to pit now, I mean, he's going to be behind Deluxe scores.
It's definitely interesting, I will say this. I'm keeping an eye on this battle for 5th, 6th, and 7th right now. All staying within a second and a half of each other.
Yeah, these guys keeping it really close. Got just 6 minutes left.
Onto the straight. Crush gets one.
Ooh. And then, oh no, Jay Lee. It just wasn't Jay Lee's day. That's definitely gonna be looked at by the stewards. Look, so George hit the wall right there. Tried to get off the racing line, and Jay Lee just. George was sitting in the middle of the track. Jay Lee didn't know what to do, and Jay Lee just ended up running the back of him.
I came onto George, and he come out of the final corner, and just went into the wall like Verstappen almost did in 2017. Saved it, and then I saw Crusher's wing fly, end plate fly, and then I just had terrible camera angles, so I couldn't see exactly. I saw George going slow, and I thought something's gonna happen. I didn't see anything after that. Saxman stays out for another lap.
Yeah, I think he's taking these till the end now.
Yeah, he's gonna be really careful because there's gonna be I don't want to say high wear, but mediocre wear on those intermediates. And there's no way Deluxe is going to be able to catch him with a 15-second gap, so...
Yeah, with just 5 laps remaining, I mean, all Saxman has to do now is just make those tires last till the end.
Yep. His Magic is struggling on the wets.
Yeah, still don't understand that tire strategy, but maybe he thought the rain was going to get heavier. You never know. You know how Jeff likes to lie to us. So.
Isn't that the truth?
Yeah. But as of right now, it's going to stand Saxman will be the winner of the race, Deluxe in second, and George the Fraud picking up what I believe will be his first podium. However, if we have enough time for podium or post-race interviews, I will ask him, because I believe that is going to be his first podium.
Let me check the standings. It will be his first podium here for PPR if he stays in third.
So that's going to be very exciting for him. As we saw DGM as well get his first podium this past Tuesday at Coda. Or his first race win, I should say, ever in a league race. So,
and this will be Deluxe's
PPR
race where he hasn't won since Germany.
Which is also going to be the championship done and dusted for him as well.
Yeah, tough for Jay Lee. He was in the blind at that point.
Yeah, it's just a tough race here for Jay Lee. I mean, not much. There wasn't really much he could do right there. Stewards will be able to look at that after the race and decide what happens. But yeah, very unfortunate for Jay Lee. Looks like he's going to finish outside the points as well. We're now just coming with 3 laps left, and doesn't look like Deluxe will be able to make 13 seconds up in 3 laps. So Saxman may take this victory home.
You got Saxman on 22-lap old intermediates and Webster on 19-lap old inters.
I will say though, Saxman struggling a lot right now on those tires.
If he takes this home for the win, he's definitely driver of the day in my book. From starting in 18th position to P1 at the end of the race, it's definitely driver of the day.
Oh yeah.
Crash following a short close second from 15th to 5th.
Yeah, I mean, George's up 10 places. And you got to look too. Most of that top 10, Magic up 8, Grandpa up 7, Henchman up 7. Obviously, Saxman with 17. Then Orange Crush
Vexing
with 10. And
7 as well.
So, I mean, very well done here by those drivers today. I mean, few heartbreaks. Ollies who look to be on the podium. Jay Lee, who's looking to have a good race. And then George, who unfortunately got disconnected as well. So the rain, I mean, really playing a key factor here in the race today. I mean, taking away from what could have been some great battles towards the end by just really taking drivers out.
George is closing in on PV9 Magic for the last stages of this race.
Yeah, it's looking like that might be...
Hopefully trying to get one more point for his team.
Yeah, as it doesn't look like his teammate Big Mr. Brown is going to score today. But sitting 2.5 back. 2 laps to go, almost. As we have a caution in sector 1.
Oh, Jay Lee's fun. You got a broken wing again.
Yep, and unfortunately we missed that, but yeah, it's going to be a broken wing there. And
He's now Deluxe Quarters coming up the lap.
Heartbreak of the day.
Crash almost lost it on the straight.
Gotta say though, Deluxe, I mean, for being as far back as he was after he pitted, he has brought that gap within a pretty reasonable margin.
10 seconds since he pitted for 6 laps ago?
I believe so.
The Saxman's coming up the line to start the final lap.
all he has to do is do a lap that is over 7 seconds faster than Deluxe. Or that's not 7 seconds slower. What am I saying? I'm not tired at all.
And I believe there's still no time penalties for these top two. There's no penalties, so this is coming down the final lap. I don't think Deluxe is anything for him.
Yeah, I guess it's just too far back.
His Webster gets by Jay Lee.
Yeah, it hasn't been the greatest day for those two drivers, but still got one more race in Abu Dhabi for them until the season end. And Deluxe, I mean, doing all he can right now. Bring that gap within 6 seconds, but looks like Saxman is going to bring it home. Just have to pray that he doesn't get a puncture as he comes across the line.
Oh, that'd be a heartbreak and a half.
As it looks like he will be the race winner here today from starting last on the grid. Congrats to you, Saxman24, as his teammate of Deluxe Squad, RD3 champion. And then followed very shortly here by Jordan the Fries. There goes X Webster 3.
Ending it in a dramatic fashion.
And followed by Vexing Track as well, who's had a great race. He'll be finishing P4. And Orange Crush very shortly behind them as well.
Magic just drifting around 3 corners there.
And here goes Orange Crush across the line to finish P5, followed by his teammate. Very good day there by Toro Rosso, finishing 5th and 6th respectively. And then here we go, good old Grandpa, P7.
P6.
Oh yeah, after time
penalties,
penalties, splitting the Toro Rossos. And then the great strategy caller that is PV9 Magic. Only one to be on the wets today. And in very dramatic fashion, he crosses the line. Here we go with George, who will finish P9 after time penalties. So rain-filled,
eventful,
wet-soaked race. It's hats off to Renault for their 1-2. And let me check what time it is. Oh, why not do some interviews with these guys? See if we can get them in.